Today we are here to discuss the concept, the exercise question and answers of control and coordination. Okay. So before that, just let me know, do you want me to discuss in-text question and answers or direct exercise question and answers? Do you want me to discuss in-text question and answers or directly this one, exercise question and answers?
Ma'am, in-text question.
Okay. Then just open the textbook and just read out the first one, the first in-text question and answer of I think it is page number 80. From page number 80, control and coordination starts. Just read out the first question, in-text question. I think the first in-text question is in the page number 85. I don't know in the actual textbook. In the PDF, it is page number 85 actually. Yeah. What is the first question, dear Panchami?
Ma'am, what is the difference between a reflection, action and walking?
Walking. So they asked what is the difference between reflex action and walking. So walking is a voluntary action which is controlled by a spinal cord as well as cerebrum of our brain. Reflex action is what? It is a process of sending the information or acquiring the information. So this is only not enough to complete this answer. So we have to write like this. Just a minute. Just scribble down the question fast. So that, yeah. So here you can see what is the difference between reflex action and walking. Reflex action takes place without thought. Means it is not in our control. It happens as by itself. So takes place without thought. Walking, when you think of walking, then you will walk. So that is, it takes place after a thought. Reflex action is controlled by spinal cord, whereas walking is controlled by cerebellum, the part of a brain. Then it is involuntary action. It is not in our control. Walking is a voluntary action. It is in our control. So like this, you have to write three differences. I hope the words are clear for you, Panchami. Can you just see the words or shall I dictate?
Ma'am, I can see them.
Yeah, just write it down fast so that we can move to the other question. Did you complete, Panchami?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Second question goes like this. What happens at the synapse between two neurons? Two neurons are there. Synapse means the junction, the meeting point between two neurons when the information is passing. So that junction is called as synapse. So they asked what will happen, what process will happen between the synapse. A very nice answer here. A very small gap that occurs between the last portion of axon of one neuron and the dendron of other neuron is called synapse. You can write like this, or you can also write like a small gap between one neuron to another is called as synapse. Then It acts as a one-way valve to transmit impulses in one direction only. It transmits impulses, or in simple words, we can say it transmits the signals from one neuron to another neuron. This unidirection transfer of impulses occurs as a chemicals are produced in only one side of a neuron. That is how it occurs only in one side, because the chemical will occur in the axon part only. From axon, the impulses travel across the synapse to the dendron of other neuron. So this briefly they explained the process. I hope you understood these points, Panchami.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just write down it point wise. Write down the question, scribble down the question and write down it. Otherwise, you can just, if you can't write the question, means just put the page number and just put the question number and then write down the answer. It saves the time. Because these questions will be there already in textbook, na? So if you go on writing the questions again, it takes time. It's up to you. If you can write fast, you can write it.
Completed.
Okay. Third question. Which part of the brain maintains posture and equilibrium of the body? So it is nothing but the part of a brain which is called as cerebellum, which is a part of a hind brain. It maintains the posture, the position of our body, and the equilibrium, the balance of the body. Just write down cerebellum in the textbook itself, where the question is there, na? There only you write down as a cerebellum. There only you write down as a cerebellum. In textbook itself, you write down as a cerebellum. Did you complete, Panchami?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here fourth question is there, actually very important question. How do we detect the smell of an agarbatti? We will get varied answers from various students for this. Some of them just answer it as nose. Some of them just answer it as olfactory receptors. Only few of them answer it correctly like this. So if it is asked for 2 marks or a 3 marks, you have to write like this. If it is asked for 1 mark, you can just mention as olfactory receptors. Okay. So as I am focusing on 2 marks and 3 marks question, so I have framed the answer as related to, as convenient for 2 marks or 3 marks. So here what we can write is, the thinking part of our brain is called as forebrain, which detect the smell, which detect the words, whatever you hear, which detect the sight, the vision, the taste and touch. So all the sense organs, all the senses will be received by this forebrain. The forebrain also has regions that collect information or signals from various receptors or sense organs. When the smell of an incense stick reaches us, our forebrain detects it. The forebrain interprets means decides, organize it by putting it together with the information received from other receptors, that is from the nose, and also with the information already stored in the brain. So what you have to write this? You have to write this point, the first point I am marking, and second point, this one, then third point here, then fourth point. Don't write that middle point, okay? Did you get Panchami?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How do we detect smell of an agarbatti? Once you complete, let me know. Good evening, Rihan. We are discussing in-text question and answers of control and coordination. In the last session, we completed the chapter control and coordination. You were absent actually. So we are discussing in-text question and answers of this one, control and coordination. In between textbook, they will give questions, na? So that we are going to, we are discussing here. So this is a fourth question. 4 points are there. You can note down it. Panchmi, once you complete, let me know, please.
Completed.
Okay. So fifth question. What is the role of brain in reflex action? They asked, what is the function of a brain in reflex action? What does it do? So here, what you have to write is, Rihan, can you read this? Are you here, Rihan? Rihan, can you read this? Just unmute yourself and read the answer for fifth question. The answer is here. Switch on your mic and read it. Panchmi, read it.
Ma'am, the fifth question.
Yeah.
What is the role of brain in reflex action? Solution. Reflex actions are sudden responses which do not involve any thinking. For example, when we touch a hot object, we withdraw our hand immediately without thinking, as thinking may take time, which will be enough to get us burned. The sensory nerves that detect the heat are connected to the nerves that move the muscles of the hand. Such a connection of detecting the signal from the nerves input and responding to it quickly output is called a reflex arc. The reflex arcs connections present between the input and output nerves meet in the bundle in the spinal cord. Reflex arcs are formed in the spinal cord and the information reaches the brain. The brain is only aware of the signal and the response that has taken place. However, the brain has no role to play in the creation of the response.
Okay, thank you, Panchmi. So as they asked what is the role of a brain in reflex action, it is not necessary to explain these all, for example, the sensory nerves and all. So we can just write what is reflex action, and we can just write, they already mentioned here how the reflex arcs are formed, that we can write and we can complete this answer. So please write down, guys, the first point as a reflex action, the second point as a reflex arc, the third point as a role of a brain. Write down this and let me know once you are finished. Just respond through a chat or through the mic. Write down soon. Completed, all of you? Rihan, did you complete? Rihan, did you complete? Next question. What are plant hormones? These are the chemical substances which are produced in the plants. These are called as plant hormones. These are usually meant for certain metabolic functions, for certain metabolic activities which takes place in the plants. So how we can write this? Here is the answer. Plant hormones or phytohormones are naturally occurring organic substances which are produced in the plants itself. Organic means these are usually made up of carbon. These are synthesized in one part of the plant body. These are formed in one part of the plant body in a very less quantity and are translocated and are transported to other parts whenever it is required. The five major types of phytohormones or plant hormones are auxins, gibberellins, cytokinins, abscisic acid, and ethylene. So these are the 3 points which we have to write down when they ask what are plant hormones for 2 marks or else 3 marks. Write down, guys. Write down it and just let me know once you are done with it. Do respond, be interactive. Completed both of you? Okay, next question. How is the movement of leaves of the sensitive plant different from the movement of shoot towards light? So they asked movement of leaves of the sensitive plant, that is touch me not plant. So here movement of a shoot towards the light is a tropic movement. Tropic movement means what? Movement which have a particular direction. So wherever, in whichever direction the light enters or the light focuses on the plant, in that direction the plant will grow. Whereas the movement of the leaves is a non-directional, or we can say it is a nastic movement. It occurs due to change in the pressure of a water. So here we can write the difference as you can see, movement of leaves of sensitive plant, it is not related to the growth movement. But movement of shoot towards the light, it is related to the growth because the plant grows towards the sunlight. Then it is a nastic movement, as I said, which does not have any particular direction and which will not have a particular stimulus. Okay, next it is a tropic movement. It is a tropic movement means which has a particular direction, which results in the movement of a plant in a particular direction. It depends on the direction of stimulus. What is the stimulus here? That is sunlight. So this is how we have to write it. Whenever they will give the questions like differentiate between, compare and all, please don't forget to put the tabular column like this. Okay, guys, just write down the question, or if it is there, just put the page number and the question number and then write down the answer. Be fast and do respond. Only Panchami is responding. I don't know what is the problem with Rihan to respond in the chat box or else to speak in the mic. Unless you interact, we cannot say what you are doing. We will not get to know what you are doing. We just think like you are simply sitting and watching it as a movie, or you are somewhere, the video is playing itself. Okay, write down this. Once you complete, let me know. Oh, just a minute. Panchami, did you complete?
Yes.
Eighth question. Give an example of a plant hormone that promote growth. So the first example, the most expected hormone which promotes growth or which is related to growth in plant is nothing but the auxin. Write down it as auxin in the textbook. Wherever the question is, write down it as auxin in the textbook. In which page number we have that question, Panchami? Mm. Reflects what is the role of a brain. Next. Give an example. I think page number 88. Fine. So in page number 88, you have that question, third question. Give an example of a plant hormone that promotes growth andre auxin. Write down it as auxin. Once you complete, just let me know, guys. Completed.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So ninth question goes like this. How do auxin promote the growth of a tendril around the support? The growth of a tendril means the frontal part, the growing region, the very young growing region of a apical part. The tip part is called as tendril. So how it grows around the support, they asked. When tendrils come in contact with any support, the part of the tendril in contact does not grow as rapidly as the part away from the object due to auxin secreted moves away from the object in contact. Okay, so what happens here? I will just explain you. Suppose if this is one stick, okay, and this is a climber, what we can call in Kannada as balli. Consider this as a jasmine climber or else pumpkin climber, ಕುಂಬಳಕಾಯಿ ಬಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಸೌತೆಕಾಯಿ ಬಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. So the tendril means what here? If this is a plant, the tip region which will wind around the support, which will surround around the support. Here the stick is a support. So illenagatte, the auxin, the whatever we can say the auxin, the hormone is there, no? That hormone will not be there around the part which is surrounded, the part which is surrounded here, the part which surrounds the stick here, these parts are there, no? Here we cannot observe any growth. Why? Because the auxin moves away from the object which is in the contact. So here in the tip region you can see the growth. Why? Because it is free from the object, it is free from the support. So the auxin moves here and this part will grow. This part will not grow which is in contact with the support, because auxin moves away from the object which has a support. This is regarding the answer. So what you have to write here, very important question too, in the 10th standard as well as in PUC also. So just write down it, guys. This is a first point and this is a second point. Just for clarification, whether maths test has been taken on Sunday? Panchami? Maths test togondra Sunday?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿಲ್ಲ.
Andre, you did not get the question paper only?
No ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
Okay. Panchami, did you complete?
Yes.
Okay. The next question, design an experiment to demonstrate hydrotropism. What do you mean by hydrotropism? That is the movement of the movement of any part of a plant towards the water or away from the water. We know that the root part will be towards the water, the shoot part will be away from the water. Okay. So here we have to design, means you have to just tell your in your own words regarding that experiment. What you have to take a tin box with a hole at the bottom, means you have to consider it as a pot. Fill it with moist sawdust, sow some gram seeds in it. Okay. Keep the tin box in a tilted position, in a cross position like this. Okay. So this one. Then when seeds started germinating, water the sawdust only in the lower side. So what you have to do is, when this is a tin box, okay, this is a tin box, fine. So when seed starts germinating, you have to water the sawdust only in the lower part of the box. You will observe that the radicle, that is the root, move towards the wet sawdust. The shoot shows that this shows that the root is positively hydrotrophic. So in which portion you will add water, na, towards that portion the root will grow. In which portion the water is less, na, towards that portion the shoot will grow. This shows that the root is positively hydrotrophic. The root move towards the water positively, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ವಾಟರ್ ಹತ್ರ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ, ವಾಟರ್ ಇದ್ದ ಕಡೆ ಅದು ಗ್ರೋ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಆ ಪಾರ್ಟ್. ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ಲಿ ಹೈಡ್ರೋಟ್ರೋಪಿಕ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವಾಟರ್ ಇಲ್ಲದ ಕಡೆ ಅದು ಗ್ರೋ ಆಗತ್ತೆ, ವೇರ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಈಸ್ ಲೆಸ್, ಇನ್ ದಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗ್ರೋ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಹೌ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡಿಸೈನ್ ಆನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್. ಹೈಡ್ರೋಟ್ರೋಪಿಸಮ್ ಕೊಡಬಹುದು, ಜಿಯೋಟ್ರೋಪಿಸಮ್ ಕೊಡಬಹುದು, ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಫೇಮಸ್ ಒನ್ ಇಸ್ ಫೋಟೋಟ್ರೋಪಿಸಮ್. ಫೋಟೋಟ್ರೋಪಿಸಮ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಸಲ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ರೈಟ್ ಡೌನ್ ಗೈಸ್. 10th ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಇದೆ. ಟೇಕ್ ಅ ಟಿನ್ ಬಾಕ್ಸ್ ವಿತ್ ಅ ಹೋಲ್ ಅಟ್ ಅ ಬಾಟಮ್, fill it with a moist sawdust or a moist some amount of soil. Keep the tin box in a tilted position. So do this. Okay, write this and let me know soon. Why I am just yeah, directly giving answers to you all means we have less time. So in the next session I have to take the new lesson. That is why in text questions ಮುಗಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ textbook NCERT exercise questions and I will send you the PDF. Write it. Once you are done, let me know. You can just scribble down the diagram also. Completed all of you? Dihan, did you complete? Okay. So the next question, how does chemical coordination takes place in animals? So we learned chemical coordination in plants. How does in animals chemical coordination takes place? The chemicals which are released in the human beings or in any living being is called as hormone. So the hormones will be released by the glands named as endocrine glands in the living organisms or in the animals. So that hormones will be there, that will flow, that will be released in the blood directly. So which will reach the target organ, which will reach the required part of the body. So as you can see here, the chemical coordination is maintained by hormones. These are secreted by endocrine glands. These hormones are poured, means are released into the blood through which they reach the target tissue or a organ on which they will act. For example, thyroid hormone. So it will reach the thyroid gland like that. So, okay, na? So you have to write here this as a second point, this as third point. Just write down it soon. Put the page number, put the question number, and take down the answer like here. So 3 points are there. Panchmi, still how many in-text questions are there? Can you let me know? Completed all of you? Panchmi, just let me know how many questions are left in text questions. Rihan, did you complete?
Ma'am, 3 questions are left in the text.
1 minute. Is secreted. How does chemical? Okay. Why is the use of iodized salt is advisable? Fine. 3 questions are left. Just write down soon, guys. If it is big answer, then okay. So why is the use of iodized salt is advisable? Why? Because iodine is necessary for the thyroid gland to produce thyroxine hormone. In case iodine is less in our diet, there will be a deficiency. There will be a less percentage or a less amount of thyroxine. So which leads to goiatry. Iodized common salt contain proper content of iodine. To avoid deficiency of iodine, iodized salt is recommended. Okay. So write down these 4 points. Write down these 4 points. Once you complete, let me know. After this, in the next session, we will discuss 2 more questions and I will start with the other topic, that is our environment. Rihan, let me know when is your midterm exam, and Panchmi, let me know the finalized date of your midterm exam in the chat box. September 29 andre Friday. Okay. Rihan, I will call you around 7 o'clock or else 7:30. Do receive the call. Panchmi, you also do receive the call. Don't tell me the reason. I am not going to blame you guys. Just regarding the preparation of midterm exam, I want to just talk to you both. So separately, I will be calling you. Rihan, do receive the call, and Panchmi, you too. Yes or no? Fine. Okay, both of you completed this? Panchmi, did you complete?
Yes.
Okay. So let me end up the session here. The remaining questions I will discuss in the next session. Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.